Cincinnati won the toss. They deferred. Kansas City will receive. So we will see Matt Castle take the field in just a moment.
And I think it's absolutely critical, Marv, that he get off to a good start. This is a frustrated crowd. They're 0-4 here at Arrowhead, and you certainly don't want the Bluebirds to come out early. I think the offensive coordinator can help a little bit, Brian Dable, but Matt Castle has to play well early.
It'll be Sean Drone, first-year man out of North Carolina, back deep for Kansas City. Bobbled a kickoff Monday night in Pittsburgh, which led to a seat on the bench. And this is Mike Nugent, the 8-year man from Ohio State, getting ready to kick it away for the Bengals. And we're underway here in Kansas City. Drone on the return. And works his way up near the 25-yard line, a 23-yard return. And for Kansas City, as we touched on, an offensive line with massive changes. Russ Hochstein moving to center for Ryan Lilja. Backs and receivers, Steve Breston. They started for the injured John Baldwin. And Kansas City with that record of 1 up and 8 down. Starting from the 24-yard line, the running back is Jamal Charles. Charles, and he's smothered across the 25, picked up a yard. Bengals with that dominant front four with Pro Bowler Geno Atkins leading the way with 7 sacks. The linebackers, Ray Maualuga, involved in 13 tackles last week against the Giants, a sparkling game. And the secondary, Matt Castle, saying he has great respect for Leon Hall, the 6-year man out of Michigan.
Set white 20. What's up?
Once again, it is Charles cutting to the outside. And he's bumped out by Adam Pac-Man Jones. He picked up 5 on the play.
Well, we see Kansas City with some no-huddle, up-tempo. They started out the season with quite a bit of the no-huddle, but they kind of got away from it. And you get the sense of just talking to Matt Castle and even Brian Dable. There's got to be more of a sense of urgency with this offense that things haven't been working. And sometimes you have to be able to shift gears.
3rd down and 4. Mike Zimmer, the defensive coordinator for Cincinnati, telling us it does not appear that Castle has confidence in his offensive line, and now it is an offensive line that is shuffled even more so. Here's Castle with a wobbler. It looked like it was tipped. And immediately here's the boos from this crowd.
Well, there's not a lot Matt Castle can do about that. This ball's going to get tipped. Just watch. Right there, Geno Atkins gets that right hand up, and pretty good protection. They kept the tight end in, and 7-man protection allowed Matt Castle to set his feet.
So Justin Colquitt is back at his 16-yard line, and he will kick it away to Adam Pac-Man Jones, who has to drift back. It's a good punt. Takes inside the 10, and here they come. Pac-Man is taken down near the 20-yard line. Corey Greenwood on the stop, a 61-yard punt and an 11-yard return. Flag is down, and we'll hear from the referee, Gene Steratore. Gene Steratore, one of the NFL's most well-regarded referees, his 10th year in the league, also an excellent college basketball ref.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Number 51 of the return team. Half the distance to the goal. First down, Cincinnati.
It's called on Dan Skuta. And here is Andy Dalton ready to go, coming off his terrific game last week against the Giants.
Yeah, I think so much has been made about his arm strength or lack thereof. I just don't believe it's a factor when you watch him play, and I think a big reason why is because he does a really good job anticipating getting the ball out quick. No question he can make all the throws. I really believe sometimes arm strength can be overrated.
Then Jarvis Green-Ellis, the running back. Play action off the punt. Oh, nice one-handed catch by Sanu. And he brings across the 15-yard line. 8-yard pickup on that pass play. A look at the Bengals offense up front. Left tackle Andrew Whitworth dealing with the dangerous Tamba Hali. Wideout A.J. Green having a sensational season with at least one touchdown reception in 8 straight games. Bengals looking at a 2nd down and 2. And you can see Dalton making plays at the line, making changes at the line. The flip to Green Ellis. Has the 1st down and some additional yardage. Goes for 11. It was Jay Gruden telling us yesterday, when we get a 4 or 5 yard run, it's a high five for everyone.
Absolutely. They've not had a lot of explosive runs with Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis, and they've had to kind of manufacture some things in the running game, but they feel it's getting better here the last couple weeks.
And they're in the no huddle. Here is Green Ellis again. Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis, the one-time New England Patriot. Spent 4 years with the Patriots, a solid short yardage and red zone back.
Yeah, and a good look at Jay Gruden, the offensive coordinator. He was concerned a little bit about the crowd noise. Very curious to see how they start here. And of course, they started in some no huddle. The crowd's not been a huge factor here. The Chiefs have struggled at home. He mentioned 0-4, but you always want, if you're a visiting team, you want to get off to a fast start and take this crowd out of it.
2nd and 8 for Dalton. A wobbler may have been tipped, so it is incomplete. Intended for Sanu. A look at the Chiefs defensively. They go with their 1st round pick out of Memphis, Dontari Poe, at nose tackle. We mentioned Tamba Hali, both he and Derek Johnson, Pro Bowl linebackers a year ago. In the secondary, Javier Arenas, now the starter right corner following the release of Stanford Ralph. And now the crowd very much into it as Dalton looks at a 3rd and 8. Low snap. And Dalton takes a hit and his pass overthrown, intended for Jermaine Gresham. Last week, his first 5 passes went at A.J. Green, who has some favorable matchups with a couple of corners who go 5'9", but he has not looked for Green at this point.
The one thing Kansas City can do is rush the passer. They've got 2 very good rushers, in Tamba Hali, of course, and Justin Houston, and that's going to be a challenge, I think, for that Cincinnati offensive line.
Here is Kevin Huber back at his 15-yard line. Javier Arenas back for the punt. Arenas is tripped up near the 25. 57-yard punt, 12-yard return. Back comes Matt Castle and the Chiefs. They'll be back on offense.
They're back here in Kansas City. You see that stat there, no opening drive touchdowns in the last 27 games. We talk about the importance of starting fast. It's been a problem for Kansas City going back a couple seasons.
And on play action, Castle completes to the tight end, Tony Moriarty, for a 1st down. That's a 22-yard pickup. Now, until last week at Pittsburgh, the Chiefs had not led at all in regulation. Moriarty on the nice thrown pass by Castle. Kansas City actually led the Steelers 10-0 at one point, their first lead in regulation all season long. This is Jamal Charles to the outside and then out of bounds. Another Chiefs 1st down, run out by the corner, Nate Clements. It's a 17-yard run.
Well, you're going to watch. He's going to just break this run outside, but they don't do a good job containing the end man on the line of scrimmage. Nice job blocking there by Albert. Burfict takes a poor angle. The one thing you can't give Jamal Charles is a crease in your defense.
Another 1st down on the draw. Charles is bottled up. Picked up a couple. Wallace Gilbury able to make the stop. Marvin Lewis, the head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals, coming off the convincing win over the Giants last week, was asked about a possibility of a letdown here this afternoon. He said, how can a 4-5 team have a letdown?
Yeah, they're just trying to stack some wins together. I mean, just to play better than you did last week, and that's the challenge, I think, for this young Cincinnati team.
2nd and 8, 3 wideouts for the Chiefs. Once again, the handoff to Charles. Big hole on the left and works his way inside the 25 for another first down. Nate Clemens coming up to make the stop. So a good start here for Kansas City despite that shuffled offensive line.
Yeah, what they do is they get everybody running this way, and then you're going to see Jamal Charles. He's great. He's got great vision, but he's a very good cutback runner. And you think about the challenge for Cincinnati. You can make the argument that there's not an offense more committed to running the football. They have to find a way to stop Jamal Charles.
Charles running into one of his own men, but works his way inside the 20, met by the left defensive end, Carlos Dunlop. There's Romeo Crennel, the head coach of Kansas City, giving up the job of defensive coordinator to Gary Gibbs. That taking place for last week's game. He took over last season from Todd Haley with 3 games to play. One-time head coach of the Browns for 4 years. It has been a very long second season here in Kansas City for Romeo Crennel. Castle took a hit and his pass is incomplete. Crowd is looking for a penalty. Pass intended for Bowe, who was covered by Terrence Newman.
I always think it's important to get these receivers involved early. You just got to be able to come out of your break. He just loses his balance at the top there. You know, as good as they run the football, they should be a better play-action team. And they should have more production in that area. It's just not something they've done a good job of so far this season.
Chiefs with a 3rd down and 5 from the Cincinnati 19. Castle out of the gun and takes a timeout. So we are hearing the booing early despite the good drive here by the Chiefs. Back in Kansas City, the Chiefs taking an early timeout. It's a 3rd down and 5 at the Cincinnati 19-yard line. Sean Drone now in the backfield for Kansas City. From this point, it would be a 36-yard field goal attempt. Castle again takes the hit, but completes. The question is, was he inbounds? He did catch inbounds. It was Dexter McCluster, but short of a first down. Picked up 4 on the play.
Well, they're going to be very protection conscious on 3rd down with a couple of these looks they're going to get from Cincinnati. They only get 3 out in the route, but one of them is McCluster. It's come up a little bit short.
So here is Ryan Suckup attempting a 34-yarder. Had his ups and downs in the Monday night game at Pittsburgh. And this one is right through. So Kansas City on the board early, which is most unusual. I look at A.J. Green, one of the great receivers in the NFL, only a 2nd year out of Georgia, 58 catches, 9 touchdowns.
Yeah, you look at the height advantage here. You got A.J. Green and Mohamed Sanu. You got smaller corners and Flowers and Arenas, and you have to have a plan for how you're going to handle a guy like A.J. Green in particular, and I think you're going to see a lot of double coverage. I think you'll see some safety help over the top to help these smaller corners.
And Rich, on that first possession, Dalton was not looking for A.J. Green. We'll see what happens here. Brandon Tate is back as the deep man. That's Ryan Suckup getting set to kick it off. Tate at his goal line. And it is a line drive kick. Tate hesitated, but decides to run it out. Little stutter step across the 20-yard line, a 27-yard return by Tate. Brandon Seiler makes the stop, so A.J. Green, Andy Dalton will go to work when we come back. Back in Kansas City, look at the Chiefs Hall of Fame. Rich, I know you have good memories of your 4 years here as a member of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, so many great players, and I was fortunate to play on some great teams with a great coach in Marty Schottenheimer.
Green Ellis running to his left, where he is stopped by Patoatia. lost a yard on the play. Hey, to get the latest news, analysis, and predictions from Pat Kerwin, Pete Prisco, and other CBS sports experts, watch Pro Football 360 live. It's weekdays at 3 p.m. Eastern or on demand at cbssports.com/Pro Football 360. And Jarvis Green Ellis, the lone running back. Andy Dalton works out of the shotgun. Green Ellis stopped this time by the inside linebacker Derek Johnson, who's been playing very well. 7-yard pickup. It'll set up a 3rd down and 3.
Yeah, Andy Dalton's going to have to be able to step up in the pocket. You got Tamba Hali and Justin Houston coming off the edges, and that's going to be important. He's going to have to be able to step up inside where he's got better protection.
Little shovel pass from Dalton to Green Ellis. Now Brian Leonard, 6-year man out of Rutgers, has come on for Green Ellis. Dalton throwing, and it is incomplete, intended for Green. That's the first time that he has looked for A.J. Green, who had single coverage. Brandon Flowers, the left corner, who goes, as you mentioned, Rich, 5'9".
Really no surprise. When he sees this single high safety, he's going to take the matchup on A.J. Green. A.J. Green's got to give him a little bit more room on the sidelines, and Andy's got to make a better throw. But when they have one-on-one coverage, as we talked about in the open, he's going to find A.J. Green.
Second punt for Kevin Huber. Javier Arenas back in his claw, and it's a fake, and it works. Cedric Pearman. They've done this before with Pearman. He gets inside the 40, goes for 32 yards.
Well executed, a direct snap to the up back. You're going to see Pearman right here. Here's where the ball goes, and he just takes off around the left edge. No, they don't do a good job containing it. You just look, really nice job out in front. You got Manny Lawson, a linebacker down there, out in front of Pearman.
Cedric Pearman, who had a strong game against the Giants last week, providing a change of pace out of the backfield. So it's a 1st down for Cincinnati inside the Kansas City 40-yard line, and here come the flags.
False start. Offense, number 84. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
It is on the tight end Jermaine Gresham. Well, the special teams of Cincinnati has been successful. Week 3, they attempted a fake field goal, 4th and goal from the 5. This is Pearman able to be successful. And now Dalton with the screen, and Green is hit back behind the line. Tamba Hali was right on the scene, and that's a 3-yard loss.
Well, they love these quick screens on early downs to some of these speedy receivers, but this one doesn't work because Tamba Hali, he reads it all the way. And one of the things that hurts Cincinnati is not having Andrew Hawkins up and available, because he's the guy they really like with those quick screens.
Sets it back to a 2nd down and 18. Coming up on 5 minutes left in this opening quarter, and a 3-0 Kansas City lead as Dalton fires deep downfield for Green. Once again covered by Flowers. We're set for an update. Let's go to our New York studios. JB and Bill Cowher.
Philly has won 3 straight against Washington, but
yeah, Nick Foles, his first of 2 picks already in the 1st half. This one is capitalized. RG3, Darrell Young, 6 yards out. Still 7-0 Philly. Or Washington over Philly.
Back to Marv Albert and Rich Gannon.
All right, guys, you see the NFC East standings. Giants on top, coming off the loss to these Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals now 3rd and 18. Leonard is in the backfield. Dalton looking, and then throws to the left flank. Good coverage by Kansas City. Leonard made the catch, but well short of a 1st down. picked up 10. So Andy Dalton facing the pressure in this first quarter.
Well, they've got some, we talked about players that can really rush. He's got to move around a little bit today and make some plays. He's a little late, I think, getting to the back, Brian Leonard. I mean, he had a chance for him earlier. Probably would have gotten the first down, but Andy was really looking to push that ball down the field. Well, Cincinnati being very aggressive. We saw the fake punt. Now we see him going for it here on fourth down.
Fourth down and 7. Dalton again could not find anyone, but he will pick up the first down. Had a lot of space running left and ran it for 11. First down for the Bengals.
Really nice job here by Andy Dalton. It's going to be man-to-man coverage across the board, and so as soon as he sees that, he's looking for the open receiver, but everyone's got their backs turned, and nobody feels Andy Dalton slip out. Really nice recognition by Andy Dalton.
First down at the 25-yard line. A handoff to Green Ellis. Trying to bang it off right guard. Derek Johnson was right there. 3-yard advance for Green Ellis. Cincinnati at 4-5. They won 3 of their first 4 after being blown out by the Ravens in their opening game, then lost 4 straight to Miami, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and Denver, followed by the win last week at home over the Giants. Now it's Green Ellis and Presley in the backfield. They're lined up in the offset eye. Dalton over the middle has the wide open receiver. It is Gresham reaching down to the 5-yard line. It'll be first and goal for the Bengals. Justin Houston able to make the tackle, and that's good for 18.
Well, if you're going to get so much double coverage on the outside, Andy Dalton's got to be able to work in the middle of the field. This one actually gets tipped. Nice job by the Pro Bowler Gresham, just holding on. But I think that's really where Kansas City can be vulnerable. They're so concerned about trying to stop the receivers, A.J. Green and Brandon Tate and Mohamed Sanu, that I think there's some opportunities to work inside against that Kansas City defense.
Double tight end for the Bengals. Their 11th play of the drive. It started back at the 22-yard line. Short set. Here's the throw. A.J. Green with the catch. Touchdown, Cincinnati.
Good job, A.J.
He's able to play that far side, staying in bounds for the score.
Well, great concentration by A.J. Green, and this is actually, this is double coverage. Arenas has help over the top, but A.J. just beats him right at the line of scrimmage. He's going to reach out with one hand. Now, does he get both feet in bounds? I think he does. You know, he's got help there from Kendrick Lewis, the safety. He's got to be more aggressive at the line of scrimmage. You can't let A.J. Green get up on you and get a clean release.
Now, that'll be a booth review. That is what they're waiting for. If it holds up, it's a 9th straight game with at least 1 touchdown, and yes, it is called a touchdown. 9 straight, which is a Cincinnati franchise record, passing by T.J. Hushmanzada. The extra point by Nugent to give Cincinnati a 7-3 lead. Another look, Dalton to Green, which has been a familiar story the last couple of weeks. Bengals with 11 plays, 78 yards. They had the ball for 5 minutes and 40 seconds, capped off by that 4-yard touchdown pass and a beautiful job by A.J. Green to stay in bounds. For Green, overall his 10th touchdown of the season, and he makes it 9 straight games with 1 touchdown or more. Sean Drone lets it go, so they'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. Now, last week, Phil Simms questioned whether Eli Manning was an elite quarterback. That made some news, particularly in the New York area. This week, it's Luck versus Brady in the spotlight on NFL Monday QB tomorrow, 6:30 Eastern, only on CBS Sports Network, 24-hour home of CBS Sports. So Phil will be on hand along with Rich Gannon, Steve Berline.
You could bet some heads turned, Marvin, in New York when Phil Simms said that Eli Manning was not, in fact, an elite quarterback. He's not played like one, certainly last month.
I don't know who came up with the category of elite quarterback, and what that's about is Jamal Charles.
Well, it changes
bangs
all
off
the
the left
time.
side.
I mean, it's, and I think that's what Phil's point was, is that, you look at Eli Manning. Yeah, he's won 2 Super Bowls. He's been an MVP, but over the last 4 or 5 weeks, he's not played like an elite quarterback. I think that's really what Phil was trying to convey. Speaking of elite quarterbacks, Matt Castle, he's got to start playing like one if he wants to stick around here in Kansas City.
And Castle, I don't know if that'll be ruled a fumble or a forward pass. Was his arm moving forward? This will have to be determined.
Third down.
Cincinnati indicating that they recovered the fumble. And we're waiting for the official word.
You just look at Geno Atkins. He's coming from the right. I think that ball is out before the hand starts moving forward.
And apparently Kansas City recovered the fumble. So it was ruled a fumble and recovered by Kansas City. And it's a 3rd down and 8. Now Castle in trouble again, and down he goes. He is sacked by Geno Atkins. But a flag has been thrown.
Well, without question, you look at the strength of this Cincinnati defense. It's their defensive line. I mean, Atkins and Pecco are a handful inside, and you got a trio of ends, and Johnson, Dunlap, and Gathers who can all rush the passer with speed off the edge. And a patchwork offensive line in Kansas City.
Pocket, holding defense number 23. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Called on the left corner, Terrence Newman, and it's a first down for the Chiefs.
You look at Terrence Newman. He's got Dwayne Bowe right there. He's going to grab right at the line of scrimmage and hold on. You can't do that. You see him too late. He's got good coverage. Just can't grab and hold.
Now Peyton Hillis below deep back. 1st and 10 for the Chiefs with a minute and a half left in this first quarter. Hillis barrels his way through. And he lost him, a strong side linebacker coming up to make the tackle. Peyton Hillis, originally a 7th-round pick of the Denver Broncos, spent 2 years with the Broncos and a couple of seasons with Cleveland, and had the big year, Rich, in 2010. He ran for 1,100 yards and then ends up signing with Kansas City as a free agent 2 years later.
Well, then he was on the cover of Matt. He got jinxed. The problem with Peyton Hillis is he can't stay healthy. But when he is healthy, he can be a nice change-up back for Jamal Charles.
On 2nd and 4, it is Hillis once again, and he coughed it up. He fumbled. Cincinnati saying they recovered, and they have. Vontaze Burfict, who has played very well. He's the weak side linebacker, a rookie from Arizona State, coming up with the football.
And he has been a pleasant surprise. They took a chance on Vontaze Burfict, and everybody passed him in last spring's draft. You just watch Peyton Hillis. I don't think he ever feels, that ball's definitely coming out. I don't think he ever feels Geno Atkins on the inside, but Burfict's right there. He's been the leader of this defense as a rookie, and he's done a really nice job. He's doing all the little things right now, as Marvin Lewis told us last night. He's got great energy, and he's really helped make Ray Maluga a lot better on the inside.
Player who was not drafted. Marvin Lewis said there was some immaturity problems, a lot of personal fouls in his college days at Arizona State. But as you mentioned, they took a shot, and he has paid off. This is Green Ellis. He runs hard, gets inside the 30-yard line, picks up 6. Good start for Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis.
Well, you look at the Chiefs, 31 turnovers. That's unheard of around these parts. And, it's not just one person, although Matt Castle has accounted for a lot of them. And we talked to Romeo Crennel on Friday about it. He says, we've tried about everything. We've done everything we possibly can to try and get this turnover situation cleaned up.
2nd down and 5. Again, Green Ellis smashing his way. And this time he is stopped as time runs out in this first quarter. Picked up 3 on the play. Turnover differential coming into today for Kansas City, -20. last in the NFL. 1 quarter complete. Bengals have a 7-3 lead over the Chiefs. We'll return to Kansas City after these words. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Kansas City fans obviously do not want to be seen making a statement about the Chiefs, who have had a disastrous season, 1-8, 6 straight losses. They have actually, going back to last year, lost 16 of their last 19. Trailing here 7-3 as the second quarter gets underway in Cincinnati with a 3rd down and 2. Brian Leonard returns to the backfield. The ball on the Kansas City 27. Dalton standing in, and then he's wrapped around, and he is taken down. Tamba Hali, Pro Bowler last season, 7-year man from Penn State, coming up with the sack and a loss of 6.
And you've got to help these tackles early in this game. You're going to see Whitworth. He's got his hands full right now with Tamba Hali. You've got to be able to chip with the back or tight end against Hali and Houston, particularly early in the game, to help these tackles.
Mike Nugent will attempt a 50-yard field goal. It is no good. His career-long 54 twice as a member of the Jets, not able to hit from 50. So the ball will go back to Kansas City. Kansas City 1st and 10 from their 40-yard line after that missed field goal by Mike Nugent. Jamal Charles trying to cut back inside, and he is stopped at the line. Halaluga making the tackle.
You go back to the beginning of the game, even before the game, and you look at some of the drills by Kansas City players. They have set aside individual periods in practice. They spent a lot of extra time trying to get the turnover situation cleaned up. And now what Romeo Crennel has reverted to is just to take the player out of the game. He said, if they turn it over, I'm going to take them out. I mean, I think the message has gotten through to the players, but again, it's not been one player. Everyone has had a role in it.
Delay, and Castle, I don't know if it was a miscommunication or Castle could not find the running back as Carlos Dunlap was able to tie him up.
Oh, this will make you frustrated. You got a veteran quarterback and a veteran running back, and it looks to me like Matt Castle goes the wrong way. The line's working to the left, Jamal Charles is working to the left, and it looks like Matt Castle gets confused and opens up the wrong way. But it's these type of negative plays that are killing the Kansas City Chiefs. It's not just the turnovers, it's the negative runs, it's the penalties, it's the sacks, drop balls. It all adds up every week, and they're not good enough right now to be able to overcome all the mistakes.
Sean Drone has come on for Jamal Charles on a passing down, and that one is over the head of Drone, and you can hear the crowd. Matt Castle making his 3rd straight start. Brady Quinn was the fill-in starter for 1 game, then was given a permanent job, but was knocked out of his 2nd start against the Raiders. Quinn suffered a concussion, and just the other day was cleared by the Chiefs medical staff to return, and he is the backup quarterback today. Brandon Tate is back deep for this punt from Dustin Colquitt. And Tate just steps out of bounds. 44-yard punt. Cincinnati 7, Kansas City 3. We'll be right back. Marv Albert with Rich Gannon from Arrowhead in Kansas City. Early 2nd quarter. Bengals have a 7-3 lead on the Chiefs. And Cincinnati back to the offense. Andy Dalton, 6 completions to this point to 5 different receivers, 6 of 10, including a touchdown. A handoff to Pierman. Picked up a yard.
You're talking about changes along the Chiefs' offensive line. How about the Bengals' offensive line? Trevor Robinson, he makes his 3rd start for Jeff Fain. And that's a 3rd different center they've had this year. And so you got a rookie there, and then you've got another rookie alongside him at the right guard position in Zeitler, and of course a 2nd-year player in Clint Bowling inside. So it's a very young group inside, And they're going to have to play really, really well today against this Kansas City defense.
Cedric Pearman, once again. Pearman, a 3-year man out of Virginia last week against the Giants. 6 carries, 21 yards. Marvin Lewis saying that he gave the Bengals a big lift. It's his 3rd season with Cincinnati, originally a 6th-round pick of Baltimore. Picked up 4 on that carry. It's a 3rd down and 4. Now Brian Leonard will come on for Pearman. So Jay Gruden, the offensive coordinator, has kept things balanced to this point. 3rd and 4 for the Bengals. Well, running it to the left flat, intended for the tight end Gresham. 3 and out for Cincinnati. Like Jermaine Gresham and Eric Berry, the strong safety, having words.
You just look right down inside. See the push at the top of the route, and that's what Eric Berry's complaining about. The Pro Bowler pushing off on Eric Berry. He doesn't like it.
Javier Arenas, 3-year man from Alabama, back for the punt from Huber. Arenas at the last instant calling for the fair catch. 51-yard punt. We'll be back in a moment. Rich, prior to the start of the season, there were very high expectations for the Chiefs, not only here in Kansas City, but throughout the country. In many publications, as you can see, new teams make postseason. Chiefs could be that team.
Yeah, I'm really surprised. I mean, you think about Oakland had a new coaching staff. Denver had the new quarterback, a new defensive coordinator. San Diego almost fired A.J. Smith and North Turner. I really felt like Kansas City would play much better this season.
Castle's pass is overthrown. Intended for the tight end, Moeaki.
And, you know, you mentioned Moeaki, Jamal Charles, Eric Berry, all missed the majority of last season with knee injuries. They were all coming back. And, you know, Romeo Crennel finished the season so strong last year. I thought they would carry some of that momentum into the offseason program. But they just got off to an awful start. And the turnovers were a big problem, and they just have never been able to get it turned around. And now they find themselves at 1-8.
This is Charles trying to make the turn. Good job by the Bengals stringing him out, and Aloha makes the move to get him out of bounds.
You know, you just get the sense when you're in the building on Friday, and you know, the players are disappointed, they're frustrated, they're down. It doesn't have a good vibe. You look at the stadium, this used to be a rocking place, even being around town. You and I out to dinner the other night. I mean, you know, Friday and Saturday nights out on the plaza. It was an exciting time. It just, for whatever reason, this city doesn't have that feel, and it's not as, people aren't as intimidated about coming into play at Arrowhead anymore. That's what they've got to fix. They're 0-4 at home. They've got to find a way to win once they get at home.
This is thrown on the screen, and he is stopped back behind the line, stopped by Pac-Man Jones. And again, you hear the boos off that loss of 3 as the punting unit comes on. On the subject of dinner the other night, it's such a shame, and this happens every time we go out. Our producer, Ross Schneiderman, director, Andy Goldberg, and myself, we chip in for your portion. I mean, you always, the check comes, and you leave the table. I don't know where you go.
Isn't my per diem enough?
It's doing one of your 87 radio shows every week. Pac-Man Jones let it go, and a flag is thrown. Just a 35-yard punt.
Buddy Jeff Siemens been busy right down there. That line judge, a buddy of mine. He's been breaking up fights all first quarter.
Yes, we have seen words exchanged several times in this first half. The referee is Gene Sterator.
member of the kicking team, voluntarily out of bounds on the punt. Number 20, that 5-yard penalty will be added to the end of the kick. First down, Cincinnati. Timeout.
Called on Sean Drone. Rich, as you know, outside of Arrowhead, it is a tailgater's delight.
That's about as good as it gets, right? We smelled the charcoal barbecues going before the games. We drove in, and maybe one of the best places in all of the NFL to tailgate.
Cincinnati back in possession, first and 10. They have a 7-3 lead, 5 minutes gone by in the second. And Dalton fires one deep downfield. It is caught by A.J. Green, doing it against double coverage, and a flag is down.
Well, they do a nice job here. First moving the pocket a little bit, changing Andy Dalton's launch point.
If it holds up, it's a 40-yard pass play.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. Hit on a defenseless receiver, number 27. Penalties half the distance to the goal. First down.
It is called on Elam for the head-to-head contact.
A little bit of a double move. He just stutters him enough. He goes right by Flowers, and a good concentration because he knows he's going to get hit by the safety. Abram Elam, just really nice concentration and does a nice job trying to protect himself from the big hit. And that's going to be the challenge for Kansas City, eliminating the explosive plays. The plays of 20 yards or more in the passing game. Cincinnati has a bunch of them.
First and goal at the 8. Green Ellis toppled over, taken down by the inside linebacker Derek Johnson. That's a pickup of 2.
Well, Derek Johnson, I know it's been a difficult year, but this guy has really played well in the middle of that defense. I thought he had a terrific game against the Steelers on Monday night. He leads the team with 78 stops. If you look at the numbers between the two quarterbacks, and well, Charles, that's really the key to it. Look at Dwayne Bowe. They just don't get him involved in games early. That's a real problem. It's tough when you're a one-dimensional outfit offensively. All they do right now in Kansas City is run the football.
Second down and goal. Dalton can't find anyone. And he's taken down back at the 10. Tyson Jackson, the left defensive end, making the tackle. It's a loss of 3.
Well, you can see Cincinnati's already having some problems now protecting Andy Dalton. And he's having to step up because Andrew Whitworth is really struggling right now with Tamba Hali. They're going to have to start helping Whitworth, the left tackle, with Hali, because now that's making Andy Dalton having to step up inside where you've got Dontari Poe and Tyson Jackson.
Bengals go with 5 wideouts. They're without the injured Andrew Hawkins, an important player for the Bengals. He's back home, sitting it out. Completed to the tight end, Gresham battling his way for the goal line, and he's in. Touchdown. Jermaine Gresham refusing to go down. Cincinnati extends to a 13-3 lead.
Well, this is just a mismatch in terms of the size. Eric Berry's 6 foot, about 205 pounds, and you got Gresham, the tight end, who's all of 6'5", 265 pounds. And he's just going to carry these smaller safeties right into the end zone.
Well, they're checking out whether Gresham did get it across the goal line. The booth review. And we'll be back right after this. One of the new rules this season, every touchdown is under review. It does not cost the coach a challenge. And the question regarding this play by Jermaine Gresham,
I think
was he down?
I think he's going to come just a little bit short. I don't think that ball's over the goal line. We looked at it from a couple different angles. I think he's going to have the ball just inside the 1-yard line. Boy, great effort, though, by Jermaine Gresham. Look at just push and keep moving those legs. But you see, right when the knee comes down, you got to assume that that ball was a little bit further behind the line.
After review, it has been determined that the runner was down short of the goal line. The ball will be placed just inside the 1-yard line on the hash mark nearest Cincinnati's bench. It will be 4th and goal, and we will start the clock on the ready for play.
Gene is very specific.
I just said that, Gene. Well, yeah, I
Number
love
74 is reporting eligible on the play. Number 74.
That is Dennis Rowland, number 74, coming in as a second tight end.
I love the fact that Marvin Lewis is being aggressive.
It is a 4th and goal. They have Green Ellis and the fullback Chris Presley lined up in the eye.
Look at all that girth on the right side of that offensive line.
Here's the play fake, and Dalton runs in for the touchdown. Beautifully done by the Bengals.
Boy, does a great job selling it, extending the ball. We were fooled up here in the booth. A lot of us thought it was going to go up top, but look at him sell it. Watch him extend the ball. He turns back, and now what he does is he seals the end, and they can't make that play. And this Edgar Jones has got his eyes in the wrong place. He's got his eyes on the back and not on the quarterback. He has to contain. He's responsible for that boot.
Mike Nugent with the extra point attempt. Bengals, 5 plays, 57 yards, 2 minutes, 13 seconds as they go for it. 4th and goal from inside the 1. A reminder coming up on the Verizon halftime report. Join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Bill Cowher for all the latest NFL scores and highlights that's coming up on the Verizon halftime report. Marv Albert, Rich Gannon were at Arrowhead in Kansas City. A very happy Andy Dalton. His Bengals have taken a 14-3 lead on the Chiefs. Cincinnati, with a win, would go to 5-5 and very much in the playoff hunt. Trying to make it 2 in a row after losing 4 straight. Deep kick. And Rowe decides to run it out. Nice return, spinning his way up near the 25. Goes for 29 yards.
Well, you look at Kansas City. We talked about getting off to a good start. They've not done that on offense. I think Matt Castle's lost a little confidence. Doesn't trust the protection. You look at Peyton Hill as he gets a chance to go in there. He puts the ball on the ground. Of course, turnovers have been a big story. Then they got a blown assignment by the veteran quarterback, Matt Castle. He opens up and goes the wrong way on a run. I mean, these are day one mistakes, rookie mistakes that the veterans are making. It's got to be very frustrating right now for Brian Dable, the offensive coordinator.
Steve Preston flanked to the near side. Jamal Charles, the running back. Here's the play fake. Castle able to stand in, goes short range, has Charles in the open field. Picks up the first down. Run out across the 40-yard line by the combination of Burfict and Jones.
You know, as much as I like Jamal Charles, Marv, you and I have been talking about this all year. The one thing that drives me crazy about this guy is he comes off the field too often. And, you know, we talked to the head coach about this, and he said, look, he's not a marathoner. He's a sprinter. Well, they have to start training this guy to be a marathoner. Adrian Peterson stays in the game. Jamal Charles has to play more of the snaps.
That was a 16-yard pickup and a first down for Kansas City from their 40. Play fake. Castle throwing deep down the right side. Oh, the attempted catch made by Bowe. Crowd looking for an interference on the coverage. Terrence Newman, the left corner, was right there leaping along with Bowe.
But at least they're taking shots. I mean, that's what they have to do. You know, they've got to be able to make this defensive backfield play a little bit today. And I think it's so hard. It's tough to win when you're one-dimensional. And that's what they are right now. They're a team that can run it, but they don't have a lot of confidence or production through the air. And that shrinks the field. That makes it so much easier for Mike Zimmer, the Bengals defensive coordinator, to call a game when you're not worried about someone running by you in the secondary.
Bowe looking for his first reception of the day. Jamal Charles, Nate Eachus in the backfield. Again, Castle to throw. It's caught at the far side. Preston had it and then not able to hang on.
Well, Steve Preston was a healthy scratch last week. He's not played a lot of snaps, just 6 catches coming into today's game. He pushes off a little bit at the top, but he just can't squeeze it and hold on at the end of that route.
Last season, Breston 61 receptions, picking up first downs on 65% of his catches. It's a second year with Kansas City after 4 years with Arizona. John Baldwin, the 2-year man from Pittsburgh, had been started, but he's out with an injury. Now Kansas City with he was met by Vontez Burfict.
Well, you look at the problems Kansas City's having right now, Marv. They can't convert a third down. Or they haven't converted a third down today. I think they're 0 for 6 or 0 for 7. In fact, neither team has converted a third down. Look at both these teams combined. They're 0 for 11 on third down.
But from Cincinnati's point of view, it hasn't really mattered.
No, because they're doing the damage on first and second down.
Good hang time by Colquitt, and the fair catch made by Tate. Flag is thrown, 44-yard punt.
49-yard punt.
And there is a penalty. So we will hear the word from Gene Steratore, from a family of officials, incidentally.
Member of the kicking team, voluntary out of bounds, number 22. 5-yard penalty will be added to the end of the kick. First down, Cincinnati.
It's called on Dexter McCluster. Well, tomorrow, Small Town Boys meet Two Broke Girls. Catch a new episode. That's tomorrow, only CBS. Talking about Gene Steratore, his older brother Tony is a back judge in the NFL, and his dad Gene was a college football and basketball official.
Doesn't Gene do some college basketball as well?
Yeah.
I think he does.
Worked a number of
Multi-talented.
major NCAA Division I games. So Cincinnati back to the offense. Green Ellis finding a hole and goes for 7. Tamba Hali is there to make the stop.
Well, we keep mentioning Tamba Hali's name. I mean, there's some real talent on this defense, especially at the linebacker position. Tamba Hali and Derek Johnson and Justin Houston. You throw in 2 very good young safeties, especially Eric Berry. It's the defensive line, in my opinion, Marv, that has underperformed. This group inside has to play better.
Second down and 3. Green Ellis. Picked up 3, stopped by Sean Smith, but a flag is down.
And this is how you stop Tamba Hali. You just grab him and hold him.
Holding. Offense, number 80. 10-yard penalty. Replay, second down.
It's on the backup tight end, Orson Charles.
Yeah, this isn't even a hold. This is a takedown. You just watch him right here in the middle of your screen. He's just going to grab him and throw him right to the ground. Why would you do that? The play is going away from you. And Tamba Hali has been a handful today for this Cincinnati offense. They have not had a plan. They're going to have to start doing something to slow down Tamba Hali.
It's a second and 13. Ball back at the 18-yard line. 4 wide receivers for the Bengals. Empty backfield. Dalton completes. There's Ryan Whalen, second-year man from Stanford, only his 5th catch of the year. It's good for 6, met by Brandon Flowers.
Well, one of the ways you slow down Hali is you double team him. Andrew Whitworth, he's going to have some help inside. Look at that. That's how you discourage that type of behavior. You have your left guard bully take his ribs out. He never felt the left guard coming as well.
Take his ribs out.
That'll make you breathe a little heavier. Now you've got a tight end over here now.
Third down and 7. That's Gresham lined up in the slot. Dalton had the time, finds Gresham, breaks a tackle, and picks up the first down.
That's just really nice scheme by the Cincinnati Bengals. They're going to keep Jermaine Gresham in just to give some presence, just to give a little help on Tamba Hali. You're going to see him right here. He's going to actually help, and then once he does, he gets out in the route. But this helps the left tackle inside. See him block, and then he throws him, and then Dalton comes to him late. and it's just enough to get the first down.
And now the talented rookie from Rutgers, Mohamed Sanu, split wide to the left, but again it's to the ground. It's Green Ellis making his way to the 40-yard line. Talking about Tamba Hali, what a story. He was born in Liberia. He fled Civil War-torn Liberia. He joined his late father, Henry, who was a chemistry professor at Fairleigh Dickinson in New Jersey. Tamba grew up in Teaneck, New Jersey, where he was a football and basketball star. Then it was on to Penn State, and then first-round draft pick in the NFL, and a two-time Pro Bowler. 2nd and 6. Inside handoff for Green Ellis, who finds some running room. Green Ellis makes his way to the Kansas City 40-yard line. He goes for 21. He's brought down by the free safety, Kendrick Lewis.
This is something you see a lot of from Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis. Look at the big hole he has to run up in there, and then you see Derek Johnson just overplays it. But not a lot of explosive runs from Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis.
Beautiful block by Zeitler, the right guard. Here's Dalton throwing deep down the right side, overthrows. Pass intended for A.J. Green. Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis, 10 carries, 57 yards.
Well, you got to give him a chance. He just overthrows him, and this is an area where I think Andy Dalton's really improved throwing the deep ball. He's getting it out quicker. He's not late with the throw, and he's putting a little more trajectory on it, and it's helped him be more accurate, but he knows he missed an A.J. Green. He's so tall, you just have to give him a chance. Even if it's underthrown, give him a chance to jump up and use that size and leaping ability.
Timeout is taken by the Bengals. First timeout that they have called. Well, in honor of Veterans Day, for every point scored during the NFL's 32 Salute to Service games, the league will donate $100 to each of its non-profit partners, the Pat Tillman Foundation, USO, and Wounded Warrior Project. To join the salute and learn more, visit NFL.com/salute. Before today's game, that's retired 4-star General Richard Myers, who was honored by the Chiefs as one of its top 50 Kansas citizens. 2 minutes, 44 seconds to play in this first half here at Arrowhead. Bengals leading the Chiefs 14-3. Cedric Pearman has come on at running back. Green is to the right, Tate to the left. Pearman on a draw, spins away, breaks tackles, down to the 25. And another Cincinnati first down. Eric Berry finally got him out of bounds. An 18-yard run.
What could have been a 4 or 5 yard run turns into an 18-yard run. Derek Johnson's going to miss a tackle. Someone inside misses a tackle. You got Kendrick Ellis miss a tackle. Poor tackling, poor fits by this Kansas City defense.
First down at the 23-yard line, and again it's Pearman. This time, no gain on the play is Derek Johnson and Eric Berry. Combined on the tackle with 2 minutes remaining in this first half. The Bengals 14, the Chiefs 3. 2 minutes remaining here in Kansas City. First half, 2nd down and 10 for the Bengals at the Kansas City 23. 6 defensive backs for the Chiefs. Cedric Pearman is the running back.
This is going to be a solid protection. They're going to keep 7 in and block.
And a flag is down.
False start. Offense number 77. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
That is the left tackle, Andrew Whitworth, 2nd-round pick out of LSU, one of the top left tackles in the NFL.
When you look at the offensive numbers today, look at that 6.5. Pretty good average there. Kansas City struggling a little bit, but Andy Dalton saw pressure. When they get to a 7-man protection and take a shot down the field.
There's the fake handoff. And it's the tight end Gresham, but he coughed it up and then recovered. Gresham, one of Andy Dalton's favorite targets and 6'5", 260 pounds.
Little pop pass, and you see here, Elam, he's going to have to learn to tackle Gresham down low. Very fortunate that Gresham was able to get that back, but they're trying to, Gresham's 265 pounds. They keep trying to tackle him up by the numbers. You're going to lose that battle every time.
Picked up 17 on the play. Green Ellis bouncing his way up the middle.
Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis.
It's been an outstanding first half for Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis. Anthony Toribio makes the stop. 11 carries, 62 yards now for Green Ellis. Remember, he had got 589 career combined rushes and receptions without a fumble. Then he fumbled earlier in the season against Washington. Here is Dalton throwing for the end zone. Intended for Brandon Tate. And a flag is thrown.
Pass interference, defense. The foul occurred in the end zone. The ball will be placed at the 1-yard line. First and goal, Cincinnati.
No number announced, but it was Jaleel Brown, the second-year player from Colorado who does not play the ball.
Oh, he does everything right. Just at the end there, he doesn't do a good enough job turning around and finding the ball. And that's what happens sometimes with some of these younger cornerbacks. They have their back to the ball and they panic.
So the football at the 1, first and goal at the 1-yard line. The Jarvis, Green Ellis.
Touchdown, Cincinnati.
Touchdown, Bengals.
Well, he hasn't reached pay dirt a lot this year, Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis, but 23 touchdowns the prior 2 seasons. He's always been a good red zone back, and that run was very indicative. I mean, there's no indecision here. He just takes one step and he's right downhill. Watch him, how physical he is here at the end. A good job squeezing that ball and getting it over the goal line.
That is his 4th touchdown of the season. Good block by the left guard, Clint Bowling. 11 plays for 79 yards, and the Bengals had it for nearly 5.5 minutes. Now the point after try by Mike Nugent. The Bengals with a 21-3 lead on the Chiefs with 53 seconds to play in the half. Coming up on the Verizon halftime report moments away, join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Bill Cowher for all the latest NFL scores and highlights coming up on the Verizon halftime report. Guys getting ready. Here you see the drive by the Bengals. So they follow up on their very impressive performance last week against the Giants. That was at home in Cincinnati. Beat the Giants 31-13, and they have this 21-3 lead here against the 1-8 Kansas City Chiefs.
And the big difference last week, Andy Dalton didn't throw an interception. You go back to those 4 straight losses, and they, a lot like Kansas City, where they were turning the football over. They weren't giving themselves a chance to be in games in the 4th quarter. And you can look at that, having fun here in Arrowhead, and I've been really impressed with Andy Dalton. I think he's like a lot of quarterbacks. He's gone through some tough times, but he's super competitive. He's extremely poised. He's very intelligent. All good qualities to have. You're going to be successful at this level.
Sean Drone not able to come up with it. They'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. Mentioned earlier that Cincinnati's certainly in the playoff hunt. As you look at the division leaders, Houston, Baltimore, New England, and Denver, and in terms of wild card, you have the Colts at 6-3, Steelers 6-3, but the question is the status of Ben Roethlisberger, and then San Diego and Cincinnati each at 4-5.
I think really Cincinnati, we talked about both these teams, Cincinnati and San Diego 4-5. I mean, the reality is you probably have to win 5 of the 7 remaining games to have a chance for the postseason.
This Castle looking to his right. He pegs it. It is caught short of the first down. Terrence Copper comes up with his first catch of the season. It's good for 9. And Terrence Newman is shaken up. Bengals left corner, 2-time Pro Bowler, as a member of the Dallas Cowboys. Cincinnati signed him after he was released by Dallas.
You look at how many corners they have, the depth and talent at the cornerback position for Cincinnati. I think it's better than any other team in the league right now with 6 former first-round draft picks. I think he rips his shirt. That's what he's all upset about. I think Vontaze Burfict hits him in the back. They're loaded. I mean, you think about Terrence Newman and Leon Hall, Nate Clements, Adam Jones, Drake Kirkpatrick, Jason Allen, who's not active today. And probably as deep and talented a group at cornerback position as there are in the league.
And the rookie out of Alabama, Drake Kirkpatrick, has come on now for Newman. 41 seconds to play in the half. Charles, able to move the pile, has a first down, goes for 4. Timeout called by Kansas City.
And there's been some criticism about some conservative play calling. At times you get the sense that the offensive coordinator, Brian Dable's been trying to protect the quarterback with a call, or that he doesn't trust the protection's going to hold up. I think it's always a constant battle as a play caller to be aggressive, but also to be smart and realistic with what all 11 players are capable of doing. And right now, the quarterback's not playing with a lot of confidence. They've got changes along the offensive line. It's a kind of a juggling act, if you will, for Brian Dable, and it's not an easy position to be in.
Rich, in your earlier days, were you ever with a team, not necessarily 1-8, but in this type of situation?
Yeah, I have, and it's not fun. I mean, there's a lot of criticism, and there's a lot of people, players are questioning the coaching staff, questioning the system itself.
Castle completed, and now they say incomplete. Charles with the catch and not able to hang on.
And I've never been on a team with a losing record like this where the locker room's been any good. You know, it's tough. It's tough coming to work every day, and I think that's the challenge for Romeo Crennel and his staff, to keep this team inspired and motivated and continue to come in and work hard. Now, that's the one thing that he's been able to hang his hat on, is that this group has done it. It's not easy, but they can continue to come in and play hard. Look at the game last week against Pittsburgh. This team played well enough to win on the road.
And Castle's pass, a floater, leaping catch made by the tight end, Moeaki, for a first down and more. The time running out. Good for 20. Kansas City does have 1 timeout left. And the ball is spiked by Castle to stop the clock with 13 seconds to go.
Now this is a really nice play by Moeaki. Not an easy catch to make back across his body. Good concentration there. Nice job by Matt Castle. Give him a chance to make a play on the ball down the middle of the field. He had to throw that one a little bit high because there was some underneath coverage.
And we see Terrence Newman, who was shaken up a couple of plays back, is back on the field. He's made his return. Just 13 seconds to play in the half. Castle now slings it downfield. The catch is made at the 20. Clock is stopped with 5 seconds to go. McCluster made the catch, and now the timeout taken by the Chiefs. So the ball is at the 20-yard line. It's a 26-yard pass play. And we'll see a field goal attempt.
Really nice job not giving up on the play, scrambling, buying himself some time, and then finding Dexter McCluster down the field.
So here is Ryan Suckup looking for a 38-yarder. Hit from 34 early. Start of the year, he'd hit 14 in a row. Coming into today, he'd missed 2 of his last 5, including a big miss last Monday night of the game against the Steelers. And then he hit from 46 at the end of regulation to send it into overtime. Has an angle to the left. Cincinnati now takes a timeout. Well, Wednesday in prime time, JV, Chris Collinsworth, Phil Simms showcase America's favorite game of their own unique style inside the NFL. That's Wednesday on Showtime. Now, was that a timeout call by Marvin Lewis to bother Ryan Suck up, or was there some
No, it was a
adjustment
timeout
for Cincinnati?
No, it was a timeout so we could get that promo in.
You know, I didn't think of that. You are so TV geared these days.
I'm a TV guy. But in all seriousness, you just think about that possession right there. That may have bought Matt Castle another 30 minutes in the second half. I mean, there's a chance they could have made a change to Brady Quinn in the second half because Matt wasn't playing particularly well for the first 30 minutes.
38-yard field goal, and a flag is thrown. And that could add to the distance for Ryan Suckup.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense number 93 was in the neutral zone, causing the offense to false start. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Now it's a favorable penalty for Kansas City. It's called on Michael Johnson of the Bengals. So they move it up. This will be a 33-yard attempt. Ryan Suckup in his 4th season out of South Carolina. And he just does squeeze it through. So that is the end of the first half with the score. The Bengals 21 and the Chiefs 6. We'll be back with the Verizon halftime report after we pause for this message and a word from your local station. Suckup just did get it inside the upright. Halftime at Arrowhead. You're watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 47. It is on to the second half at Arrowhead in Kansas City, and the Bengals in front of the Chiefs 21-6. Marv Albert along with Rich Gannon. Well, Cincinnati picking up where they left off with the impressive win last week over the Giants. Chiefs, as they will tell you around Arrowhead, same old Chiefs struggling in the first half, coming in with their record of 1-8. Unusual stat, you look at Cincinnati, they converted only 1 third down, but a different story, very successful in fourth down conversions.
Yeah, neither team's been good on third down, as you mentioned, but Cincinnati's been very aggressive, a perfect 3 for 3 on fourth down. They faked a punt, the pyramid, which led to a Cincinnati touchdown. They come right back, Dalton with a quarterback scramble on 4th and 7, and then finally a 4th and goal with the quarterback keeper and the bootleg to Andy Dalton. 21-6 lead, and look at the first half stats, and Cincinnati has done what they had to do. They came in here and they've taken this crowd out of it, and they got the lead that they wanted to head into halftime. Look at the numbers. Kansas City just can't get anything going offensively right now.
Kansas City will kick it off with Brandon Tate back as the deep man, and this is Ryan Suckup. And he pounds one out of the end zone to bring it out to the 20-yard line. Excellent first half for Andy Dalton, not the case for Matt Castle.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a new quarterback. You see Matt Castle with his ball cap on. I think we're going to see Brady Quinn to start the second half. We saw him come out and warm up. He's got the helmet on, and just wasn't a very productive first half for Matt Castle. We talked about the struggles he's had, and the offense, they're just not moving. They're not scoring points, and Romeo's looking for a spark, and typically you get that when you replace the quarterback.
Bengals start out from their 20. Toss to Green Ellis. Had an excellent first half. And Rich, as you have pointed out to us on a number of occasions during the halftime break, you were right out in front of the quarterback change with Quinn about to replace.
Well, as a quarterback who's been on the hot
Holding.
seat in his
Offense, number 74. 10-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
That's on Dennis Rowland.
As a quarterback, Marv, that's been on the hot seat, that knows what it's like to struggle a little bit, and I think that you get a sixth sense for when the head coach might make a change. And so You know, they just weren't moving the ball. Matt didn't look comfortable in the pocket. And you talked to Mike Zimmer last night. He said that the guy's lost confidence, doesn't quite trust the protection. He's afraid to make a mistake. And when he has to reset his feet, bad things happen.
Brady Quinn is coming off a concussion, cleared by the Chiefs medical staff yesterday to dress for today's game. The tight end Gresham on the reception. It's a pickup of 5, met by Abram Elam.
Boy, Jermaine Gresham's a good-looking tight end. I mean, he's big and strong. He's physically catches the ball well. And you think about the youth and talent on this Cincinnati offense. I've mentioned this before. Just one of 4 teams that have a quarterback, a wide receiver, and a tight end all make the Pro Bowl last season. And no shortage of talent.
And the balance in play selection has continued. For Gresham, that was catch number 5 for 61 yards. And this one is batted down.
That was a little obvious, wasn't it? And you see Andy Dalton with the hand signal to the receiver, and he got fooled. You see the end man on the line of scrimmage, Justin Houston. Now, Justin Smith can help there by being, Andre Smith can help by being a little more aggressive and firing out, but he may not have known that was going to be a quick throw to the right. It was kind of a hand signal between the quarterback and receiver.
Well, Justin Houston, second-year man from Georgia, comes up with the stop, batting it down. 4 wideouts for the Bengals. This is A.J. Green putting the speed on for the first down across the 35, tackled by Derek Johnson.
Well, what really makes this go is you've got a left guard and a left tackle that can get out in front of the screen, and you just watch. They're going to get out in front. You got the tight end out here too. Now this is a nice little lane for the receiver, and that's because you've got an athletic left tackle in Whitworth and a really good left guard and Bowling that can get out and run and get in front of the screen.
End result, a gain of 21. Handoff to Sanu. Mohamed Sanu, rookie out of Rutgers, a 3rd-round draft pick, goes for 4. He's a guy who can throw, as we saw earlier in the season, through a touchdown pass. He can catch. He's listed as a wide receiver, and he can play in the backfield.
And he's a physical guy, big, strong kid, 6'2", 210 pounds. The thing he's got to learn to do is practice better. We talked to Jay Gruden last night, the offensive coordinator. He said that he doesn't always look sharp in practice, but he really shows up on game days. But you've got to be able to practice in order for the coaching staff to have that confidence in you to dial up your plays.
On 2nd and 6, Dalton stopped by Poe. Dalton couldn't find anyone. Well, week 3 at Washington, very first play of the game. The touchdown pass thrown by Sanu to A.J. Green. He has a terrific arm.
Yeah, he really does. He actually, believe it or not, in high school he played a little quarterback. He actually worked out with our own Phil Simms a little bit in North Jersey, and he's a very talented player. As you mentioned, Mark, went to Rutgers, and so I think you're going to see more and more of him the next 6 or 7 weeks.
3rd down and 5. Dalton to the sideline, incomplete, intended for Brandon Tate. So the punting unit will check in. You mentioned offensive coordinator Jay Gruden telling us that Sanu is one of those guys who's not a good practice player. You just don't see his skills, but when the game starts, it's a different story. Do you recall any guys that were similar, where they just didn't show up in practice, but once the game started, different story?
You know what? Usually those players don't last. I think it's one of the reasons why Sanu was buried on the depth chart behind guys like Brandon Tate and Andrew Hawkins and Armand Benz. You've got to be able to practice to play well.
Excellent coverage by the Bengals. 48-yard punt, no return, and here comes Brady Quinn replacing Matt Castle. Matt Castle, 8 of 16, 93 yards. Not able to get anything going, so Brady Quinn has taken over. Handoff to Charles. Makes his way across the 15, picks up 5. Pecco on the stop. Brady Quinn, an Ohio guy out of Dublin, Ohio, signed as a free agent from Denver. signed after the Chiefs were told that Peyton Manning was not coming to Kansas City. Brady had been the backup with the Broncos, and he is back from a concussion. Went on the run, able to complete to Charles, and has the first down. Run out by Malaluga. Injury report from the Chiefs, who are now down another receiver. Dwayne Bold is a questionable in terms of a return because of a head injury, which we saw take place on a pass that was headed his way.
That's not going to make Brady Quinn's job any easier. They're already without Baldwin and now.
Charles with that hesitation move. Yet it's Pecco on the stop, just a yard for Jamal Charles. He's carried 11 times, 55 yards.
He's not the biggest back, but he'll smack it up in there, and you just protect yourself in piles.
I've said that many times. Second down and 8. And again, it is Charles. Jamal for no gain.
I really don't think that the offense is going to change that much with Brady Quinn. I think Brady Quinn may bring a little bit more mobility to the quarterback position, more likely to pull the ball down and run with it as opposed to Matt Castle. Boy, they can't afford to lose Brandon Albert. Think about all the changes they've got to that offensive line right now. You get the rookie Stevenson in there, Hochstein in there playing, and of course, now you got Brandon Albert down.
Albert, the left tackle, 5-year player out of Virginia. We talked about this earlier. You go back to the opening week against Atlanta. Only Brandon Albert remains in there. Lilja is out today. Hudson started the season as the center.
Yeah,
Asamoah out with, actually he's recovering from thumb surgery. Eric Winston moving over from right tackle to right guard. You mentioned Donald Stevenson, rookie from Oklahoma, making his first start as an offensive lineman. He had started a couple of games as a second tight end.
Yeah, and Hochstein jumps in there at center. So now you got your third different center, and then you see Brandon Albert right here at the left tackle position. And what he does here, he gets stepped on or gets hit in the head, or I think we could see him back in the game.
How about more shuffling here? Stevenson moves to left tackle. Winston back to his normal position, right tackle. And Brian Madison, second-year player from Iowa, comes on at right guard. Know your offensive lineman. 3rd and 8. And the pass completed across the 35 to Terrence Copper, is getting some playing time because of that injury suffered by Bowl. Kirkpatrick on the stop, and a flag is down.
Offside. Defense. Number 33. Penalty is declined. The result of the play. First down.
So it's a 12-yard gain.
You're going to see Terrence Copper here working on Dre Kirkpatrick. Nice job coming back to the football. Really good protection here, allows Brady Quinn to sit in there and take an extra hitch.
Quinn on the play fake, and it's caught for another Kansas City first down. Caught by Copper. Copper had come into today. He's a 9-year man from East Carolina who's been primarily special teams without any catches. And for Copper, that's his 3rd reception.
And watch Jamal Charles swell up here on the blitz pickup. He's got a block. Wow, that's a really nice block there on Vontaze Burfict.
Hand off to Charles. Cincinnati has done a good job against Jamal Charles here in the 3rd quarter. Only a 1-yard gain. Michael Johnson was right there to make the tackle. brings up a second down and 9 at midfield. Kansas City Chiefs 1-8. They're tied with Jacksonville for worst record in the NFL. They dropped their last 6. They are 0-4 here at home at Arrowhead. Quinn in trouble, gets it away. It is incomplete. Charles in the area as the intended receiver. And Geno Atkins was in the face of Brady Quinn.
The good thing for Brady Quinn, when he came here to Kansas City, he had worked with Brian Dable, the offensive coordinator, in the past. The two were together in Cleveland when Dable was the offensive coordinator there. So Brady had said that almost 80% of the offense was carryover to what he had when he was with the Browns.
3rd down and 9. Tough snap handled by Quinn, but he's in trouble, and down he goes. Taken down by Adam Pac-Man Jones, who comes off an outstanding game last week against the Giants. 2nd sack of the day for the Bengals.
Well, this ball's got to come out. I mean, they're just bringing, you got the linebacker, you're going to see Adam Jones, he's going to come off the edge, and they're just not enough men to block him all. See right here. This ball's got to come out. It took too long. When you see pressure like that, you've got to find a quick answer throw.
The punt by Dustin Colquitt. And here's Tate, stopped at the 20. Brian Keel on the tackle, 40-yard punt and a short return. Cincinnati back in possession, starting at the 19-yard line. 6 defensive backs on the field for Kansas City. Green Ellis picked up 3. Well, you can get coverage of every game on the go with NFL Mobile for $5 a month. Watch live streaming of every touchdown with NFL Red Zone, as well as NFL Network's 24/7 coverage. Call ** NFL to download or go to NFL.com/mobile. 2nd down 7. Bengals with the ball and a 21-6 lead. Completion to A.J. Green right at the marker. Brandon Flowers, the left corner, makes the tackle. And it's a 1st down.
It's going to bring A.J. Green in short motion and then just run a little out route against Flowers. And look how far off some of these corners are playing. I mean, that's the respect that they have for the speed of A.J. Green.
A.J. with his 5th reception, 71 yards, including a touchdown to make it at least 1 touchdown in 9 straight games. Green Ellis, see that hole open on the left side. The franchise record is 10, held by Carl Pickens over 2 seasons, but in terms of a single season, A.J. Green passed T.J. Hushmanzada.
Well, he's a special player. I mean, he's got that rare combination of size and speed and athletic ability that makes him so difficult to defend in the vertical passing game. You know, he's tall, he's got that great leaping ability, terrific hands. We know about that. We saw him juggle the iPhones a couple of weeks back, and he does such a great job tracking the ball when it's in the air.
Dalton able to stand in, and now fires one. Great effort by Tate, and he made the catch in bounds.
That's an incredible catch. Well, you just watch the concentration. Good protection here. You see Andy Dalton slide. Now, look at the coverage. It's pretty good. He fits this one in here. Look at the concentration to get both feet down by Brandon Tate.
It's good for 24. Let's go. First out of the 44-yard line. Green Ellis. Stopped by Javier Arenas, picked up 7. Getting back to A.J. Green, the all-time record is held by your former teammate Jerry Rice. He went 13 straight games with at least 1 touchdown or more.
Yeah, he'd let you know too if he wasn't getting enough catches. He wasn't shy about telling you in the huddle, hey, throw me the ball.
2nd and 3. And it's Green Ellis coming up short of the first down, picked up about a yard.
Well, they always get him involved in the game early. Look at this great catch against some really good coverage. You see the double move and the fact that he knows he's going to get slammed here at the end. Of course, Trent is trying to get him in space. They love the quick screen game to all the receivers because they have offensive linemen that can get out in front of it. But A.J. Green, 14.2 yards per catch.
Mohamed Sanu in the backfield takes the flip. And he is crushed. Got back up. He is down. Derek Johnson put his shoulder into him. It's a loss of 4.
Yeah, if Mohamed Sanu is going to be in the backfield, he better brace himself for these type of hits.
So Kevin Huber comes on with the punting unit. Javier Arenas back at his 10th, 4th punt for Huber as we come up on 3.5 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Cincinnati with a 21-6 lead. And this one is down inside the 5-yard line. Looked like Dre Kirkpatrick. 36-yard punt, and Kirkpatrick was able to prevent the ball from carrying into the end zone. Kansas City will start out from deep in their own zone. Off the good play by the rookie out of Alabama, 1st-round draft pick Dre Kirkpatrick, playing only his 3rd game, recovering from an knee injury. Able to down the ball at the 4-yard line. As a result, Chiefs start out from deep in their own end. Peyton Hillis, the running back, takes the handoff. And just looking to hold on to that football as Vontez Burfict makes the tackle. That's a pickup of 4.
That's not a very good report card. You look at the 8 possessions today, too many 3-and-outs, and you've got a turnover in there, and they just haven't been able to muster any big plays and then not been able to put drives together. And that's the reason I think Romeo Crennel made the change from Matt Castle to Brady Quinn.
2nd down and 6. Ball at the 7. Charles back in the backfield. To make the turn. While Charles stopped by Taylor Mays. He did pick up the 1st down. Went for 8 and a 1st down for the Chiefs.
That's what scares you when he begins to cut it back, and you can't give him a vertical seam, and you're always hoping that you can keep him going sideways and not let him get north and south, because he's got that rare and unusual speed once he gets up on the 2nd level.
Charles back from torn knee ligaments that come off back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. Brady Quinn sliding at about the 18-yard line. Perhaps a yard.
Well, the one thing Brady Quinn can't do is pass up the first guy for the second guy. You see Moiaki's wide open. Just give it to him right now. Just give it to him and let him turn upfield and make a play. Instead, you get a little greedy there, hoping that you can get the second or third receiver in the progression. Don't pass up the first one for the second one.
2nd and 9. Coming up on a minute left in this 3rd quarter. It is bobbled loose and then covered up by Quick.
You've got different people playing different positions, and you get a bad snap here by Russ Hochstein, the center. He hasn't played a lot of snaps, and you've got different players at right guard and left tackle, and you got about 4 or 5 different players in there. You worry about those type of mistakes. You also worry about communication when it comes to the protection scheme, particularly when you see both these players up here in the A-gaps.
We talked before the game about this being a makeshift line, and it's been shuffled since the game got underway. Moriarty on the catch. It is a 10-yard pickup, but short of the first down. Time running out in this third quarter. Brandon Tate will drop back for the Bengals. Colquitt is back behind his 10, and they're going to let it. Well, no, they got the snap off. Clock was down to 1. And here's Tate. Tripped up across the 25-yard line. That is now the end of the third quarter. With the score, the Bengals 21, Chiefs 6. We'll return to Kansas City after this message and a word from your local station. Back in Kansas City, the way things have been going for the Chiefs, there are organizers behind a Save the Chiefs movement. It's actually designated today as the official blackout Arrowhead game. This is Ben Jarvis Ellis. Cincinnati resumes offensively. He goes for 7. At any rate, this has been designated as blackout Arrowhead game, where fans were asked to wear black to today's game to send what was called a visual message that they are tired of what they call broken leadership and subpar performance on the field. They say they are passionate fans who have endured 19 painful years with no playoff victories. Green Ellis, good second effort. Looked like they had him behind the line. And the goal of this group is to create change. The message is the sea of red will disappear if change does not come about. And a pretty good group as we looked around the stadium, although many fans left at the end of the third quarter. I would say pretty fair amount of fans did wear black instead of the usual red. There's Galton overthrowing A.J. Green. He's covered by Brandon Flowers. And you saw bags being handed out. That's out of the saga of the old New Orleans Saints, the Aints.
It's kind of a grassroots effort to get fans to wear black instead of red and protest at today's game. This is so foreign to me, though, Marv, as a guy who played here from 95 through 98. It's just, these fans are great fans, and I just think they're so frustrated right now with the product on the field.
Well, for a long time, this was one of the magnificent franchises in the NFL. Bierman able to accelerate for a first down. He goes for 14, stopped by Elam.
You know, for a team that hasn't had a lot of success running the ball, they were just 25th in rushing coming into today's game. They've had a lot of success. They look at this, 169 yards on the ground, and you know, if it hasn't been Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis, it's been Bierman. Cedric Bierman has had a nice day as well. 6 carries for 69 yards.
Bierman remains in the backfield, takes the handoff. Cedric Bierman, a 3-year man out of Virginia, goes for 4 in his third season with Cincinnati, originally a 6th-round pick of the Ravens.
You know what they do well in Cincinnati, and I think it gets to Jay Gruden, his philosophy. A couple times each quarter, they take a shot down the field. Now, they don't always hit him. We just saw him miss A.J. Green, but they take shots, and you just know it's going to happen. And when you break down their first 9 games, that's what shows up. That's the philosophy. They're going to be aggressive with their play call.
Play action. The sidearm pass is dropped by Green. He's upset with himself. We're set for an update. Let's go to JB and Bill Cowher.
Detroit getting it done.
Yeah, after Matthew Stafford threw a pick 6, he comes back now. He's going to find Calvin Johnson 25 yards out. His third touchdown of the year. Detroit goes back on top, 17-14.
4 catches, 113 yards, and a touch today for Megatron. Back to Marv and Rich.
A little bit of a surprise, guys. Mike McCarthy, 11-1 all-time against the Detroit Lions.
Bengals have a 3rd and 6. Lots of time for Dalton, and takes advantage. Picks up the first down. Gresham with his 6th catch of the day. This one for 9.
Boy, Kansas City has had a hard time covering Jermaine Gresham. I just think it's the size. We talked about how important that was going to be coming into the game. We talked about it more with the receivers going up against some smaller corners, but you look at Gresham. I think not only does he have a size advantage, but he's got a speed advantage against some of these slower linebackers.
Well, 6 catches for Gresham, 5 for Green, including another touchdown. Now Green Ellis is in there for this first and 10. Able to break the tackle behind the line, gets inside the 35, brought down by Javon Belcher. Set for another update. JB, Bill Cowher.
Dallas narrowing the gap.
Yeah, they were down 13-0 at half, and here Felix Jones takes it over. 10 unanswered points into the 4th quarter. Cleveland still holding on to a 13-10 lead.
13:43 left in regulation. Marv and Rich.
All right, guys. Always difficult to figure out the Browns. 2nd down and 10. 4 minutes gone by here in the 4th in Kansas City.
He's going to block, and he's going to block.
Dalton finds Green, looks to put a move on, and was wrapped up by Flowers inside the 15.
A really nice job there. He audibles to 358. It's a solid 7-man protection. They're going to get the ISO on A.J. Green. He just abuses Brandon Flowers at the line of scrimmage. He's got those long arms, and he's great getting off press man-to-man coverage.
It's a 20-yard pass play.
We've got these centers mic'd, and I can hear some of Andy Dalton's audibles. And as a guy who played with John Gruden, Jay Gruden's older brother, I recognize some of the audibles that Andy Dalton's getting to.
Well, Dalton with the pitch. Green Ellis stopped at the line by Justin Houston.
Very similar philosophy, terminology, and verbiage. Haven't been in that West Coast system. You look at Jay Gruden there. When we sat down and visited with him last night, I said, do you have a special package of plays? Do you have a special spot on your call sheet for A.J. Green? He said, I really do. You know he does. He says he doesn't like to go into a game with, he wants to make sure he's got enough volume for A.J. Green, but he wants to make sure he doesn't go into halftime with A.J. Green only having 1 or 2 catches. He wants to get him active and going early.
Well, 6 catches for Green and 6 for Gresham. There's Dalton, pumps, throws, intended for Sanu, and the defender Flowers actually had lost his balance.
That's why Sanu's got to practice better. I mean, this was the ideal look. Andy Dalton was licking his chops. He was ready to throw it to him earlier. It just took Sanu a while to figure out what he was doing. Then Dalton tried to back shoulder him. You look at the press coverage at the bottom of the screen here. Sanu's got to win this one. I mean, A.J. Green has been beating up Brandon Flowers. Sanu has got to win that one-on-one battle.
4 wideouts for the Bengals. 3rd down and 10 at the Chief 14. Dalton over the middle. Sanu runs it in for the touchdown. 14-yard touchdown pass play.
Well, there's the guy that made up for it. We talked about being able to win the one-on-one battle with Brandon Flowers, and Sanu finally gets him, but he had to move him onto the inside. You see him now, he's inside as opposed to outside, but that's the matchup that they're looking for. He just beats him right across his face. Really a nice move there by Mohamed Sanu. He's going to be a really good player once he starts practicing better.
It's a pep talk from Rich. 2nd touchdown of his NFL career. Nugent with the extra point. 12 plays, 72 yards, and the Bengals extend their lead. Still 9:39 to play in this game, and this is a sad commentary on this franchise to see people leaving. This is a stadium that would always get 70, 76,000. A lot of empty seats. And it's only the start of the fourth quarter. Sean Drone on the return is crunched at the 20-yard line after running it up for 16. We'll be right back. Day on CBS, CY America has made Vegas TV's #1 news show this season. That's Tuesday, only CBS. Marv Albert, Rich Gannon. We're at Arrowhead in Kansas City. This stadium has just cleared out. Andy Dalton, a very happy guy, understandably. He has had another strong game. Bengals with a 28-6 lead. Kansas City takes over 1st and 10 from their 20-yard line. Charles in the backfield. Inside handoff. Tries to break it to the outside. He's tripped up after a short gain. Stopped by Adam Jones. He picked up 3 on the play. Coming up, time permitting after the game, the NFL Today update presented by Farmers Insurance. Join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Bill Cowher for all the latest NFL scores and highlights. 2nd down and 7. Brady Quinn, who's come out from Matt Castle in the second half, completes to Jamal Charles, and he has a 1st down. It's a 9-yard hookup. Perfect on the stop. Rich, you say you have been part of some teams that have had difficulties. Well, here are the Chiefs, 1-8, 6 straight losses. You go back to last year, they've dropped 16 of their last 19. 0-4 here at home. They've lost 8 of their last 9 at home.
Number 66, 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
Going back to last year, the call is on Hochstein. But how do you approach practice now? Next week, you're looking at a home game against Denver, a home game against Carolina. How do these guys stay up?
Well, you got to be professional about it. You got to take pride in your preparation, your performance each week, and you got to keep coming to work each day with the attitude you're going to get better, and you're going to keep trying to find a way to win. I mean, it's the tough guys that can fight through the adversity.
It's easy to say, but how many guys can really do that? Big hold for Charles, breaks free. Nice run for the 1st down, gets to the 45. Stopped by Chris Crocker as Jamal Charles goes for 17.
I think what the problem is, Marv, is everybody starts worrying about their own situation. You know, am I going to get fired as a coach? Am I going to get replaced as a quarterback? You know, you look at the general manager, Scott Pioli. What's his future like? Is Clark Hunt, the owner, is he going to continue to stay with the program, or are they going to make a change?
Quinn with a nice pass and a hard hit on the tight end, Moiaki, who made the tackle, and both Clements and Moiaki shaken up. 20-yard gain. All right, we'll come back to check it out after this break with 7:39 remaining in the 4th. Well, both Tony Moiaki and Nate Clements back on their feet. That was a crushing collision just a moment ago.
Violent.
Moiaki able to hang on, 20-yard gain. Quinn stepping up, and it is incomplete. He threw a bullet, and Devin Wiley not able to hang on. He's the rookie from Fresno State. Quinn is now 6 of 8. 70 yards.
Brady Quinn has actually looked pretty good. He's throwing the ball around a little bit. You look at that last miss, that throw. You know, you're not getting a lot of reps during the week of practice. He was just cleared for this game on Friday.
Off balance throw, actually threw it away. Facing the pressure from Wallace Gilberry.
He was cleared to practice early in the week, but he wasn't cleared to come back and play until late Friday afternoon. In fact, when we sat down with Brian Dable and Romeo Cornell on Friday, they weren't quite sure whether or not Brady Quinn would even be dressed for this game.
Chiefs looking at a 3rd down and 10, 7:15 remaining in this 4th quarter. Screen throw. McCluster Dexter McCluster picks up 8. Well, it's a 4th down and 2. I don't think there's any question that you have to go for it. Down here by the score of 28-6. Drone in the backfield to the right of Quinn. And Quinn fires one deep downfield. Pass intended for Copper. Cincinnati will take over on downs when we come back. Back at Arrowhead, fans continue to file out. This will look like an intra-squad scrimmage by the time this 4th quarter is in its final minutes. This is Green Ellis out to the 35, picked up 8. Well, Wednesday on CBS, they've survived severe weather, they've survived without food, but can they survive the most annoying castaway ever? New Survivor, Wednesday, only CBS. 2nd down and 2 for the Bengals as we approach 6 minutes to play. Cincinnati on its way to a record of 5-5. It'll be 2 straight wins after the 4 straight losses, very much in the wild card playoff hunt. Pitch to Green Ellis, and he's stopped back behind the line. No gain on the play. Javon Belcher, the inside linebacker, up to make the stop. And the AFC playoff picture, aside from the division leaders, well, Indianapolis 6-3, Steelers 6-3. Questions about the return of Ben Roethlisberger. Then you have Cincinnati and San Diego.
I don't know, there's a dominant team right now. I suppose maybe Houston, with the way their defense is playing, they can run the football. But even Baltimore, you look at Baltimore at 7-2. The defense has been very inconsistent. Joe Flacco sometimes is hit or miss. And they got a tough schedule here the next 7 weeks.
On a 3rd and 2, Green Ellis comes up short. Picked up a yard. So the punting group will come on. Kansas City headed to 1-9 and a 7th consecutive loss. So much for being able to play off what they considered certainly a decent effort Monday night against Pittsburgh, although they lose in overtime and cost themselves in several situations. But it's really meant nothing today as they are getting blown out here by the Bengals.
I'm just so surprised they've not been more competitive at home. They've won just 3 of their last 15 games here. And this used to be such a home field advantage.
5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
But, you know, there's nothing to get excited about. I mean, they turn the ball over. They're not good on all. It's a hard offense to watch. You know, we do Cleveland games over the years. I think they're getting better, Cleveland on offense. That was a hard offense to watch. You know, it was three and outs all over the place. They were real bad in the red zone. You look at Kansas City right now, they have the worst red zone offense in the NFL.
What a weird situation there. Looks like Kansas City got caught making changes. This is Arenas on the return. To see the snap, and the Chiefs were not set on the field. 62-yard punt, 18-yard return. The fans continue to lead. Kansas City taking over at their 25-yard line with 4 minutes, 10 seconds to play in the 4th. A bobble again by Quinn, and has to run it. That's the way it's gone for the Kansas City Chiefs. Brady Quinn coming on in the second half from Matt Castle.
Yeah, they make the simple plays look difficult. I mean, it's amazing. It's just been a frustrating day for the Kansas City offense. And
certainly the makeshift line has not helped. Quinn was going to throw and then tucked it in. Covered up by Michael Johnson. Took them 5. Matt Castle not able to get anything going in the first half. Quinn's numbers are okay, but he really hasn't been able to move the ball.
what they can't do is throw the ball in the perimeter. They can't get the ball down the field, and that's a problem right now. You know, the field really shrinks when all you can do is run the football with Jamal Charles, and you can't get it. You can't make any big chunks, big plays down the field. That's been the problem with this offense all season. They're just not very good at the passing game. They struggle on third down. They struggle in the red zone.
That was just a brutal possession for the Chiefs.
Just 1 of 10 on third down today, Kansas City.
7th punt for Colquitt. Tate is back. Plays a good hop to the Chiefs, and it's down inside the 5-yard line by Jaleel Brown, but there's a penalty marker down. Goes as a 64-yard punt. And a penalty marker coming in.
You know, for what it's worth, you look at these 2 kickers for Kansas City, Dustin Colquitt and Ryan Suckup. They've had a good day. Colquitt's a good punter. It's good hang time, good directional kicker. Suckup's had good deep kickoffs. Made a couple field goals.
And Colquitt certainly gets his share of opportunities.
Illegal touching. Number 20 of the kicking team was out of bounds, first to touch. The illegal touching occurred inside the 5-yard line. Therefore, the ball will be placed at the 20-yard line. First down, Cincinnati.
So the Chiefs hurt themselves as the illegal touch called on Sean Drone. Here's another look. Right at the bottom of your screen. Down to 3 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter as the Bengals take over. Green Ellis battles his way out to the 24-yard line. Well, you can help the victims of disasters like Superstorm Sandy. Text Red Cross to 90999 to make a $10 donation to the American Red Cross Disaster Relief Fund. CBS Cares.
Second and 5 to the 25-yard line.
2nd and 5. And Jarvis Green Ellis, 24 carries, 101 yards, including a touchdown. And gets the call again. This time he is gang tackled, no gain on the play. And that brings us to the 2-minute warning. Cincinnati 28, Kansas City 6. Coming up next, it'll be Andrew Luck and the Colts facing Tom Brady and the Patriots, or Phillip Rivers and the Chargers going up against Peyton Manning and the Broncos. Check your local listings. 2 minutes to play here at Arrowhead in Kansas City. The Bengals on their way to their 2nd straight win. Cedric Pierman in the backfield. And it is Pierman who has had a career day, picking up 2 more, 7 carries, 75 yards.
When you look at the tail of the tape, Andrew Luck going up against the veteran Tom Brady. I think this is a step up in weight class for Andrew Luck and the Colts going into New England and playing against Belichick and Brady. I'm sure that Bill Belichick will have a few different wrinkles and twists for Andrew Luck and that Colts offense. That's going to be a real challenge, I think, for the Colts.
We will get a look at the Colts next week. They're home for the Buffalo Bills. One of the surprise teams of this NFL season. Javier Arenas lets it fly over his head. And takes a good hop for the Chiefs.
Pretty productive day for Andy Dalton, 18 of 29, 230 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's 2 weeks in a row now where he's not throwing an interception. And when he does that, I think the Bengals are tough to beat. The problems that they've had is when he's been sloppy with the football and they've turned it over.
For what it's worth, and you mentioned the Strong punting by Dustin Colquitt, who certainly gets his opportunities with this Kansas City team going on 1-9. That was a 69-yard punt with the hop as it landed inside the 5-yard line. And here's Drone.
John Drone, the ball carrier. Tackled by Wallace Gilbert.
6-yard pickup.
Well, it doesn't get any easier for Kansas City. They've got Denver next week. They got Carolina, both those games here. And
Pass completed to Steve Breston. Breston seeing action today with John Baldwin out with the head injury, picked up 13. And a timeout is taken by Kansas City, a clinical timeout with 35 seconds remaining.
well, I think it's important for the Bengals here the next couple of weeks. They've got to get on a roll. They got Oakland and they got San Diego, Dallas, Philly. They've kind of, I think, have to win 4 of those games, because you look at the last 2 games, at Pittsburgh and Baltimore, they've not had a lot of success in the division against those 2 teams.
I don't want Kevin Huber's family to get on me. That 69-yard punt was off the foot of Huber, not Colquitt. I can't take those Twitter messages anymore, Rich, as Drone runs it out to stop the clock at 29 seconds remaining. So the Bengals go to 5-5, and as we have been discussing, very much alive in the playoff chase, particularly with a favorable schedule coming up. Of course, that does not guarantee anything, but you'd rather have a favorable schedule.
Absolutely.
So they make it 2 straight wins after the 4 straight losses. Quinn is taken down by Michael Johnson, and for Johnson, that is his 7th sack of the season. The Chiefs fall to 1-9. They now have lost 7 in a row, and going back to last season, they've dropped 17 of their last 20 games. And 0-5 here at Arrowhead on play action. Drone takes it, and that'll wrap it. Here come the boos for the few remaining here at the stadium. Final score, Bengals 28, Chiefs 6. Coming up next, game 2 of the NFL on CBS doubleheader. So, for Rich Gannon, Marv Albert saying so long from KC